I'm sure there's stuff we played when I was young that I don't like remember, but like I mostly just remember all the good stuff, right? Like, I mean, total, like, we're talking before 2000, I would say. So we got, like, Total Annihilation. I'm thinking mostly PC stuff, but Total Annihilation, FF6, Master of Orion, of course. I would actually consider playing Master of Orion on stream at some point. I don't know if I will, but consider it. The original Tribes. Star Control 2 I only played in 2010, but, you know, it is a 92, I actually thought it was 93, but 92 game. Well, I guess we could actually do a, yeah. Ultimate Line, yeah. Yeah, I played Mu 2. I think I like it a fair bit less than Mu 1, but I still think it's fairly good. Mu 1 had a certain level of, like, simplicity to it that was really appealing. In Mu 1, like, you've got your different colonies and stuff, but you just control them with a couple of sliders and tell them what to build. And, like, that's all you're controlling on a per colony basis. Where Mu 2, you get into, like, really, like, excessive minutia where you're managing different, like, potentially mixed races on the planet, and that affects things, and you have, like, different planets within the system, and you have to build individual buildings on each planet, like in, like, Civilization and stuff like that, and it, the ship customization goes overboard in Mu 2 as well. Like, it has a ludicrous number of, like you're not just customizing the weapon and ship size and, like, accessory, basically. You're, like, each weapon can have, like, 5+ different modifiers, and, like, you can do a lot of nonsense, and I'm sure about 3/4 of it is complete garbage if you actually, know the game well enough and stuff. Yeah, Mu 1 had custom ships and tactical combat as well. Mu 2 also has some wonkiness with the tech tree that makes it feel really bad to not play either a Cylon type or a Darlock type. Because there's, like, the default for technology in Mu 2 is that you, for each, like, tech, you get, or, like, tech tier or whatever, you get, like, 1 of 3 techs, and that's it. To get other ones, I guess you could play, like, a human type. Darlock type, human type, or Cylon type. Either trade for your tech, steal your tech, or just get all of the tech because you're Cylon. Like, it felt really bad, because especially there was, like, 1 or 2 tiers that just had such, like, key technologies that were mutually exclusive. Krondor, yeah, Betrayal of Krondor is great. I have no idea how well it lives up today, but definitely loved that at the time. Darklands is, yeah, the open world game I would say I like the most. These are all console stuff. Tetranet, hell yeah. Early online internet multiplayer Tetris. I can still hear the like MIDI theme for that game in my head. Yeah, I can see that. I never ended up playing Betrayal and Emtara. My understanding is that it's narratively a fair bit worse, but I don't know it very well. Adom, when did I actually first play Adom? That was probably about... Oh, I can actually probably find when I first played Adom in my old IRC chat logs. but probably 2007? I'm gonna guess it was between Cave Story and Spelunky, but I don't actually know. It was definitely introduced to me on IRC. Syndicate, there you go, there's another classic 90s PC game that I thought was pretty great. Covert Action, yeah, that's a lesser known one, I would say. Like, I think, well, Krondor and Covert Action are the most and Darklands, I guess. Like, most people, if we're talking in terms of, like, 90s PC games, they are certainly familiar with, like, Master of Orion and such. But Covert Action was pretty cool. Like, you did all these different, like, little spy mini-games and stuff. A pretty core part of it is, like, breaking into these, operative buildings and, like, looking around and, like, taking pictures of files and stuff like that, and trying to avoid detection from the guards. And you also do, like, little phone tap mini games and hacking games and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. If I remember correctly, Microprose ended up making Covert Action while being, like, stuck on designing Civilization. Like, early Civilization 1, they actually, like, had it real time for a while, and it wasn't working very well. More early internet stuff with Subspace or Continuum. Tyrian 2000. I didn't play that in the 90s. I'd probably play that in the mid-2000s or something like that. It's decent. It's a really easy shoot 'em up. It's kind of weird because there's, like, I want to say like 10 different difficulty levels or something like that. But, like, the hardest setting in Tyrian is like the easiest setting in Toho or something like that. Bubblewall's actually 86. Magic Carpet, there you go. There's some more mid-90s PC stuff. I played that in middle school. That's another one I'd be kind of interested in revisiting, like if that lives up at all today, but I don't even, like, remember it that well. You just, like, fly around on a carpet while, like, trying to complete little, like, objectives on the map or whatever, and, like, enemies are, like, throwing crap at you, and you can throw fireballs and stuff and cast spells or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's a more apt one, Chrono, but, like, I mean, like, I can recognize that, like, several of my favorites have, like, relevant flaws when looked at today. That's right, a shout out. Like, Final Fantasy VI's writing is not very good, for example. Cave Story's writing is actively bad, whichever translation you're using. It has unskippable cutscenes. Like, plenty of games that I absolutely love have relevant flaws, and I would have liked them less today. Let's see. Transcendence I probably played in, like, 2010 or something like that. Netstorm. That's a real-time strategy bridge building game. you're like building up bridges and you have to do it like super fast to like enclose islands and stuff like that effectively. Spellcraft. Yeah, there's an obscure one. Spellcraft is a pretty obscure thing, for sure. That was a pretty neat little game. Like, you, are on Earth, and, magic is real, and you start, like, gradually learning all, these spells and stuff, and then you go into these, let's say dreamscapes, if you will, and, battle enemy wizards there and stuff, and you kind of craft your own spells a little bit. Like, you learn the recipes to make the spells to begin with, but then you can, like, alright, well, I'm gonna add a couple more candles to this spell so that it lasts longer when I cast it. How does that affect this spell? Stuff like that. But at least had some interesting stuff going on. I don't know necessarily how good it is now, but... I've... Oh, are we, coming back? Coming back? Or coming back? Okay. I probably cut most of the, chat I missed with, bringing it up on my phone there. Oh, wait, no, no, no! What? Oh, no. No, back and forth. Alright, good work, Ed. Maybe. But my on-screen chat has not come back yet. We should actually be back. Is this another trick? It might be. It might be. Hey, Dippler. Anyway, so neither of these I played when they were contemporary. Well, we'll just keep talking. Just keep talking about 90s PC games. What do you mean it was all a lie? Everything should be fine. Everything looks completely fine on my end. The resolution of the little bit badges and sub icons are definitely nicer on the phone. Alright, anyway, we should be good to keep rambling about 90s PC stuff. So I never played Master of Magic when it's contemporary. It's basically Civilization, but with magic. And, I mean, my comment there sounds about right, that it seemed like it would probably be pretty unbalanced, but it was fun to check out, and was still, like, enjoyable to play. Princess Maker 2 is a weird-ass game. Weird-ass game. More like Age of Wonders. Age of Wonders is real-time, isn't it? No, I may be thinking of the other, like, 5 adjacent games. Age of Wonders is turn-based too, okay. But, I mean, I only played, like, one playthrough of that or whatever, or, like, most of one playthrough of that, but it was pretty dang Civ-like, wasn't it? That is pretty much what I remember from it. But Princess Maker 2 is like, you are gifted a child from the heavens and you have to raise it and, like, choose what job she works, and then, like, go on little dungeon crawly sort of adventures. And depending on what you do, it could end in like 70 different ways or something like that. Yeah, I remember the feel being pretty similar to Civ as well. So, like, if we're going off of that comparison, more like Overwatch to Team Fortress 2 rather than Overwatch to Call of Duty. But like I said, I only really did the one playthrough and it was in 2011, so maybe I'm misremembering. Let's see, that's all console stuff, and I think that's about everything, huh? Because I think we are, I mean, we could look at 6.5s too. We could look at 6.5s as well. There's Mu 2. There's Civ 2. There's Warlords. Okay, yeah, Warlords. The 6.5s are still good. Yeah. We gotta bring up like the BattleTech games. We're talking late 80s at that point, even. Man, I can barely, like, describe Warlords, but I liked it pretty well. I probably played that, like, early 2000 or something like that, but... But sounds reasonable, yeah. I mean, there's other surprises for people that don't know what I already disliked. Like, Link to the Past and Earthbound and Lisa all being down there, for example. But... And, Half-Life, I guess? Yeah, but Half-Life is bad. Yeah. La Mulana, I guess, could potentially be one that would surprise people, too. But yeah, here's a nice just chunk. There's Age of Empires 1. Got, I really liked the Battletech games at the time. Crimson Hawk's Revenge was actually the first one I had. I could still like hear the kind of like original MIDI intro to that game. But there are a variety of different mech games. Like Inception kind of combines a like it's kind of plot focused, but then has like tactical mech combat. And you can like get followers and stuff, and like maybe those followers have like early on a lot of times you're not even doing mech combat, it's like person combat, and maybe you actually just have like regular guns or something that you're shooting other people with, but then like later on you're doing mech versus mech, and you might even have like some non-mech allies, but you give them some like short-range missile launchers so they can still impact fights against mechs a little bit. Yeah, like I can't really remember Warlords that well. I feel like I played a moderate amount of it though. I never played Snap. And of course, our SimCity classic, reticulating some splines. Test of Time was, yeah, an unbalanced mess that I really enjoyed at the time. Quake, I believe Quake 2 was actually the first game I needed, like that I first came up with Twinge for playing Quake 2 online, I believe. I could be wrong because like my memories of the era are pretty blurry, and like it feels like 10 different things happened in late 1997, and that's not possible. Like, it feels like I first got on IRC and first played Quake 2 and first played Ultima Online and first played Total Annihilation Online and got ICQ, and like all of that happened in late 97. I don't think so, but I don't know which I'm wrong on. Like, my memory just like places them all at that same exact time period. Playlist bringing us some appropriately old tunes now. It's a quick one. There's Pirates. Pirates pretty cool. Oh, Castles 2. Yeah, Castles 2 was a cool game. I first encountered that because it was a Mac only at first. So I had a friend that had a Mac and played some of it there. That was a neat game. Thought it kind of stunk. I mean, I think the remake's better, so I don't think there's any reason to go play the original if you didn't like the remake. But I definitely enjoyed it. It runs out of steam, certainly. Like, it's kind of this open world sandboxy sort of thing, but you fall into doing the same sort of stuff pretty quickly. I did not mind that too much at the time, but mind it more now. And greetings, Jennifers. The you don't have the dancing minigame in the original, though. Castle of the Winds was the first game I ever used a hex editor on. I changed like the names of all the enemies and stuff. I mean, I imagine I got a hex editor for some other reason. Like, I don't know, but like that's my earliest memory of using a hex editor was changing stuff in that game. This is like basically a early roguelike, essentially. Like, you're going through kind of randomized dungeons, doing dungeon crawly stuff. Sleep well, Chrono. Moon Project's actually 2000, huh? That's a real-time strategy that I pretty much only played this at LAN parties in like high school. Discovery. Yeah. Like, my 6.5 is, like, surprisingly high compared to how much the, like, general public likes Discovery at this point. But, yeah, I liked it in its simplicity, like, kind of, like we were talking about earlier, what still stands out a bit about Mu 1 was that it was still engaging while having kind of some of the simplified aspects there, and this was a nice little, like, kind of 4X game, but very, very simple one that you're just, like, colonizing places and then trading in resources and trying to send more ships to colonize other places and either fight enemies or the natives and stuff. It's not nice politically, certainly. Considering that the name itself is praising the monster that is Columbus, that's not surprising, but you know. That's great, Ed. Mech Commander I only played for the first time in like 2014 or something like that, and it was still pretty good-ish. Little Fighter 2 was a game we played a lot of in high school for whatever reason. Just this downloadable free game. I have no idea how obscure Little Fighter 2 is. Like, I feel like I've pretty much just never heard like anyone talk about it. It's Crescent Hawk's Revenge. Yeah, now we're getting into the 6s. We're getting a bit worse. Oh, here's another one that people might be upset. I mean, 6 is not that bad. 6 is about average, but a lot of people really like Homeworld. I thought it was fine. Original Sim City. There's some Sim Ant. We get our early like D&D games, the SSI like Gold Box series, and all of that sort of stuff. And maybe it is. Maybe it is. There's Livings. Someone brought up Livings earlier. I really liked Battle Chess when I was a kid, too, when I was very young. Like, it was just chess, but it had, like, animations of the units, like, special animations for each pair, like, so when you have, like, a pawn take out a queen, like, you get to see, like, a pretty unique animation, because that doesn't happen very often, and, like, it's pretty neat. Hey, Totem Sky! Now, Stunts. Stunts, I really liked. That was, like, I'd say mostly middle school era for me, but, yeah, I really liked making, like, tracks primarily that were just, like, really fast. Like, they didn't have, like, a bunch of tricks on it. Like, I remember, like, making just, like, giant banked turn loops, and, like, then we, like, you would be within like 0.005 seconds on the time or something like that, and that we'd like try to get the best time and stuff like that. So despite the name stunts, most of my memory of it was like avoiding the actual stunt stuff, probably because they were like hard and I was bad at doing them or something. Oh, nice, Ed. Yeah, yeah. Dark Omen. Yeah, I haven't played Dark Omen. Scorched Earth is definitely an early DOS classic, too. Scorched Earth was kind of probably the first game that introduced me to, like, editing config files to change things. Like, there's a lot of settings you could change in Scorched Earth by editing the config file to, like, change starting money or tech level or things like that or whatever. But, that sort of gameplay I really don't like anymore. Like, I don't like Worms, I don't like Scorched Earth or any of that, but at the time it was pretty dang sweet. I only played old XCOM in, I don't know, 2010 or something around there. And it is really tedious to deal with the interface in original XCOM, but the core gameplay is still like appealing. Gorilla.bass, yep. Chucking up bananas. I don't know if that I ever edited Gorilla.bass. We did edit Nibbles.bass a little bit. Like a friend of mine, I think, made like custom levels for it, or at the very least. He was definitely better at QBasic than I was. Dino Park Tycoon, like at the time, I thought was just kind of a school PC staple. Just like, you know, Oregon Trail or Number Munchers or whatever, but it seems like most people haven't heard of Dino Park Tycoon. It is exactly what it says on the tin. You run a dinosaur park and have to deal with, like, feeding them and stuff, and if you're dealing with the more, like, dangerous animals like the T-Rexes and stuff, there's a chance they could break out of the pins and stuff like that. But have pretty fond memories of that from middle school as well. And yeah, like the whole like Gold Box series and stuff like that, I remember specifically at one point like asking my parents to buy me some graph paper so I could like plot the maps of the levels of some of these games. That is definitely a memory. And I also remember that they have the like character creator and stuff, and you can like roll randomly, or you can like it's very like D&D style there, but you can also just like input numbers and like keys that like all of the time. I think every time I played this as a kid, it was like, all right, max all of the stats at 18. Is that high or low for you, Tippler? Probably low for you is my guess, but I thought Borderlands was a pretty shallow experience, but it was fun to play co-op. I'm not super big on first-person shooters, generally speaking, and I don't think Borderlands does anything particularly noteworthy that would change that, but it was still a pretty fun co-op experience. I like Borderlands 2 worse, actually. Like, Borderlands 2 had, like, difficulty curve problems that, like, made it way uneven and less fun. But otherwise felt like kind of the same game to me. Also, wait, Borderlands 1 was... No, it was just next to it. I was like, there's no way that's... It's like, this is not 19. Okay. Wacky Wheels was like a DOS-based racer that I didn't play a whole lot of, but I enjoyed, I guess. You got Windows Pinball. Trade Wars 2002, that's an interesting thing. So this was a BBS game. So that's kind of like pre-proto-internet sort of stuff. Yes, the far-off year of 2002. Exactly. It is not like Drug Wars, it is actively multiplayer. So BBS is like you'd use your dial-up modem, like your 2400 baud modem or whatever, to connect to a bulletin board system, and there was like message boards and like games and stuff you could play. So stuff like Trade Wars, you would connect into the server, and like this would be a generated world of, I don't know what would be like normal at the time, but like at least several hundred different little systems or whatever, stars that you could jump between, and you would try to like have control of systems and like build up spots you could trade resources. And there were like the Ferengi or whatever that were hostile aliens and stuff you could deal with, and yeah, that's pretty scary. Yeah. But I only played this like in a semi-modern sense, so like 2009, something about there, and like it was like interesting how clearly the game was designed for its time, because like it relies on people playing it on like a BBS. Like your turns are very slow, and if you're playing it like originally, right, like because you've got slow modems and like slow servers and everything like that, so you've got slow turns, you don't have any special like functionality or scripts to do anything for you, and like it means that like moving into a system and there's an enemy there, like maybe they have time to react to you, or you have time to react to them, or like you don't know how that's gonna go down. But like playing Trade Wars in a modern sense involves like using scripts to like send probes to neighboring systems, so you know if there's enemy ships there that you can move in and immediately attack, and like everything is like this weird ultra fast thing that sort of works with this whole scripted nonsense, and it was just really weird. But yeah, that one kind of stood out as an interesting contrast in how it plays today versus how it originally played. What's my favorite heroes on Might and Magic? I have not played very many of them. Have I only played 3? I might have only really played 3. And 3 was pretty good. And why like I would have rated 3 higher than a 6, wouldn't I? So we should have seen it by now, right? And that's just a bunch of random console stuff. We'll finish off the 6s. Or do we got any more 6s of note? No, that's all the 6s. Alright. Goes down from there. Oh, someone asked, I don't know if you're even still here. Someone asked on the phone while the internet was disconnecting what I thought of Final Fantasy Tactics. I mean, I've got it rated a 7. I liked it pretty well at the time. It's got major difficulty curve problems, and it's weird. Like you've got like the hardest fight in the game by far was 2/3 of the way through the game. And then the final boss was so trivial that I did not even realize it was a final boss, and the game just kind of ended. I only played that in like the late 90s, I think, maybe early 2000s, so it's been a very long time, and I don't really know what I would think of it today. But yeah, what was up with Mind Magic? It is actually 2000. Okay, the complete edition was 2000. Okay. That is newer than I would think, but that was why we didn't see that come up. But yeah, I still enjoyed that, checking that out in 2012. What good DOS games did I miss that I haven't played or we haven't talked about? I mean, I guess I could have got back, because we were actually talking about bad DOS games to begin this, so I should have kept going, right? Instead of, I then only talked about the good ones. So maybe we should keep looking. You got your Dooms. You got your Oregon Trail. You got your Command and Conquer. You got your MechWarrior 1. I liked Incredible Machine a lot as a kid. Revisiting anything of that gameplay style in the past, like, 15 years, I've really disliked. Island of Dr. Brain, or Castle. Either way, I don't think I'm familiar with the Dr. Brain stuff. Like the Island of Dr. Quandary is what comes to mind if we're talking about puzzle-solving islands or something, but... Shut up. But yeah, here's more of those like gold box D&D games. Then you've got the kind of first-person perspective dungeon crawlers. Like I can never, like, there's one that's more iconic than Eye of the Beholder, but like Eye of the Beholder was the one that I played, really. Eye of the Beholder 2. So that's what always comes to mind first, where like you've got a real-time sort of combat that like you click on your attacks to like either swing your weapons or like throw your like rocks or fling arrows or whatever. That sort of thing going on. Got our Warcraft 2. Got Descent. That's a classic, a DOS classic that should probably be mentioned. Anyway, that's a 6 Degree of Freedom game where you're flying around in a spaceship. And I remember we actually had a joystick to manage the madness of Descent there, and we even played some multiplayer. And I remember there was a bit of a running joke that there's the, like they're always behind you or whatever, because like it's hard to like know everywhere you're looking in Descent. Oh, Cycles. That's another man, that's actually 89. But yeah, that's another racing game. Like there's like a set of like DOS games that were like like available in like not the normal middle school computer lab, but like another one like we could play if we'd like finished our work or something like that. But Cycles and Stunts, I think we got both of those from there originally. Odell Down Under is another one that I thought was a kind of school game staple, but then later found out that it was not, in fact, that. But that's like you're a fish and you have to eat fish that are smaller and just kind of be a part of the ecosystem or whatever. Logical Jury of the Zumbinis. I have not heard of that. Might Magic 6 was 98. Oh, interesting. So the complete edition was way later. Gotcha. That makes more sense. Bunch of weird console stuff. Strife. So Strife was made in the Doom engine, and it was like really narrative focused. Like there was this whole oh god, I can't even remember things well enough to actually try to explain the story and stuff. But yeah, it was like a Doom engine thing that like did a decent amount of actually like talking to NPCs and like a lot of just fighting as well, of course, but like it was definitely a very narrative focused experience that had a lot of voice acting and stuff. And there's at least 2 of the cheer sounds you can trigger actually from Strife. Most likely Templar. When I played Puzzle Pirates, it was probably Twinge or Dark Twinge or the Dark Twinge. With an outside chance I would use something else, either if one of those were taken or just for the heck of it. Do I remember what Ocean I played? No, I do not. I didn't play a lot of Puzzle Pirates. So I don't have a whole lot of memory there, I'm afraid. I'm good, Higgs Frog. Stars. Stars is a turn-based 4X game that could be played by email, and I don't know how I even ended up in some of these places, but my experience with Stars is primarily based on like stumbling into the like Stars IRC chat room in like, I don't know, 98 or 2000, somewhere in that era. And like, I spent a lot of time there, got to know a lot of the people there without having ever played the game or knowing really anything about it. Eventually, I did actually play a couple of games of it. Like, yeah, it had like a custom race thing and a play-by-email set up and stuff like that. But it was a game. But mostly my memory of that game is just completely tied to, you know, the people of that community. That community is, yeah, actually there's a lot of cool stuff from that community, honestly. Like, that is where I first learned about ADOM and played ADOM because of people there. A lot of my early anime interest kind of came from there too, like, one of my friends there actually sent me physical CDs of a lot of anime series, because I was on dial-up at the time, so that I could actually watch some of those series, and they included some of the soundtracks to them too, so that influenced some of my musical taste and expanded that a little beyond kind of just the, I guess you would say, Final Fantasy VI plus Weird Al. Like, I didn't have a lot of music that was like mine at that time, but like a couple RPGs, like mostly Final Fantasy VI, and then like some Weird Al was like my musical interest at the time. Loom I liked quite a bit when I played it for the first time in, I don't know, late 90s or something like that, but I replayed it in like 2009 or something like that and did not find much appealing about it at that time. So take that as you will. I mean, that song only comes to mind distinctly because we have it on the playlist, but, you know. More Civilization spin-offs. I didn't like Call to Power as much. Civ Farm. You actually needed to build out your own little, like, dirt road from your farm to the town to sell your farm goods there. So, yeah, RuneScape was definitely something. We played RuneScape, like, pretty much right when it came out. Like, when I first played it was no later than 2002. And, stayed with that for a while, and had some interesting things we did there. Like, I wish, I had access to my account for that game still, because it would be worth hundreds of dollars. But, you know, I had about 30 Santa hats. My brother had a blue party hat, a full mask set, egg, lots of stuff like that. Well, it was tied to a really old email account I didn't have anymore, and like I tried the recovery system and stuff, and it did not work. Alas. But, yes. I mean, our combined value, if we were able to sell it in some fashion, was probably at least $1,000. Probably more. Because we definitely had at least, like, 25 Santa hats or something like that. That sounds about right, Templar, yeah. Because I remember, like, when the Santa hats were dropping, we were, like really going out of our way to collect them. Like, we had, like, multiple characters, so, we had one account named Magic Missile, and, we were, like, logging out of one account onto another one, like, so we'd be on different parts of the map to just collect as many Santa hats as we could. I remember, like, some part of the map in the bottom right area of the world was pretty bereft of other people, so we were able to pick up a lot of Santa hats off of the ground when they were spawning there. For anyone who has no idea what the hell any of that is, it's basically, like, one-time event cosmetics that randomly dropped, and then since they were one time, they became worth a whole lot later on. That sort of situation. Number munchers. Oh, Willy the Worm. Yeah. That is probably the first game I ever saw a level editor in. It's a purely ASCII-based platformer that I don't think was very good otherwise, but definitely was pretty neat that it had a level editor. And it was one that didn't, like, have checks, so you could set up levels that were very soft lockable in multiple different ways and stuff. But that was neat that it had a level editor to go with it. I played this on stream in 2017, and it's a 90s PC platformer. That's what Jazz Jackrabbit is. Alright. Man, there's a lot of stuff, considering this page has fewer entries than the last one. There's a lot of, we have 140? Like, almost everything in my bottom rated stuff's from the 90s. What? I think so much of this is. There's a Diablo 1 I don't like very much. Prince of Persia's okay. Wolfenstein. Worms. Gauntlet. Oh yeah, Commander Keen was brought up earlier. We've made it to Commander Keen, Ed. Is that high or low, Templar? Yeah, we are now to the part of the list where I hate every classic. Exactly. 7.5 is not an undying hate, though. That's a solid dislike. I mean, I certainly liked Commander Keen and Duke Nukem at the time I originally played them in the late 90s or whatever. Mid-90s even? Maybe mid-90s, yeah. Super Punch-Out I haven't really played. But yeah, 4.5 is the tier of like Kingdom Hearts and Earthbound and Lisa and stuff like that. There's some redeeming qualities to these games for me. Original Duke Nukem, Arkanoid 2. That's another one that I can still just like hear the little like title screen MIDI music of. Lords of Magic, yeah, that was a broken mess of a game that I still liked a lot at the time. This is kind of like a more broken Heroes of Might and Magic 3 or something like that. It's kind of in that vein anyway. I wonder if I'd like D-Rod anymore today. I played that probably mid-2000s. Did not like it much at the time. That was another one IRC people introduced me to, actually. There's some Ski Free. I mean, there's definitely like early period, yeah, probably mostly early 2000s that I played just a lot of random like emulated games. So a lot of just like very mediocre NES games got played and end up with like a 4.54 rating or something around that, right? Got that, Panic Restaurant, like all this random stuff. Clax. Hey, look, it's Half-Life. Yeah. Did not really enjoy Half-Life. Home Alone. Home Alone I had on 2 5.25-inch floppy disks. I remember like it was segmented, so you'd spend the first part of the game like setting up all the traps, and then you'd have to input the second disc to play the second part of the game, where the burglars actually broke in and deal with all your traps and stuff. So that was I liked that at the time, certainly. Tremulous. I don't think I've really heard of Tremulous. Like, yeah, I mean, I agree with my past self. I wanted to like Natural Selection too. It seemed kind of cool. Like, you, for those unfamiliar, like each side has like like it's a first-person shooter, team-based, but each side has kind of a commander that is kind of in charge of the team and does certain aspects of it, and yeah. It was a neat idea, but man, I did not have fun actually playing it. Whizball. Whizball, that's a Commodore, yeah. That's a Commodore game I played at a GDQ because someone asked me to. Pool of Radiance. For whatever reason, I always like Pool of Radiance like relevantly less than all of the other Gold Box games. Legend of Kyrandia was a point-and-click adventure. Oh, Another World. Yeah, I played that about 2010, and it's only got atmosphere. Everything else was miserable. But that's definitely one considered a classic. A lot of people really like Another World. But it's really a clunky, annoying pile of frustration that has some good atmosphere from modern standards. And I don't really care very much about atmosphere, so it was hard for me to like. Pharaoh's Tomb. This is just kind of a, I don't know, standardy collectathon PC platformer sort of thing. Single screen. I guess single screen platformer would be the best way to like maybe evoke this style of game, but I think the standout thing there is that I believe my dad found like some link in like a magazine or something how to connect to like a BBS to download the game from it or something like that, and that's where we got Pharaoh's Tomb originally. That's probably when I encountered that and what we got. I remember like thinking at the time like that it was like illicit or something, like, oh my, like dad stole the game or something like that. It was just like a shareware game that was fully public, but welcome back, Forval. Yeah, we're just chatting about stuff. Ha, Forval. Monkey Island 2 I liked so much worse than Monkey Island 1. Legend of the Red Dragon was another BBS game that I only played in more modern times. So like I played like some web-based version of it, or that I think was technically called Legend of the Green Dragon for the web-based one or whatever, but it was the same thing pretty much. Just like weird how I end up like stumbling upon things like that over my life that I end up like playing for some reason or another. It's like, yeah, you know, it's 2010. That means it's time to play some classic BBS games some people that are not me have relevant nostalgia for. Chuck Rock I played because of like a speedrunning challenge thing. You'd have to be pretty old school on stream to remember Chuck Rock. I know Squirrel remembers Chuck Rock, but I don't know if anyone else does. This was not a mystery tournament, actually. This was a thing. I don't even remember what they called it. Who was even behind it? Like Mythical was one of the people behind it, but they were a little more behind the scenes. They weren't forward facing. But the idea was that like you're given these games and you have like a week to learn them. Wait, was Chuck Rock actually? Chuck Rock was more of a mystery tournament style thing. Yeah, the game. Never mind. I'm conflating two things. Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel was the one I played that we had like a week to learn the speedrun of the game or something, and then everyone competed and see how well they did after a week or whatever. Chuck Rock, I believe, was some sort of mystery format where we had a chance to veto games, and I vetoed Chuck Rock, and then they still pulled Chuck Rock for me somehow. And it's a bad game, and it was stupid. And they did apologize afterwards, like, oh, whoops, that wasn't supposed to happen, but yeah. So that was the Chuck Rock experience. Castle Adventure is basically like Adventure for the Atari, but on DOS PC and using ASCII graphics. Sim Earth, I only played on SNES, I think. Carmen San Diego, Kingdom of Cross, another ASCII-based old DOS game. Ha, Ed. But there's more than 3 Stooges, technically. I mean, there weren't in that game, but... Chex Quest, yeah, someone brought up Chex Quest earlier. Chex Quest is on the Doom engine as well. This should actually be rated a little higher. Chex Quest is not as bad as its peers here. Is this like a 4.5 or a 4? Yeah, ship counts as 0.5, that sounds about right. Talking about Chex Quest here. Yeah, I could give Chex Quest a 4.5. When I raised my ratings of Doom 1 and Doom 2, I didn't raise my rating of Chex Quest. Gorky 17. I don't think I'm familiar with that. No, it's only tied with Mother 3 for. I'm not saying Chex Quest is a 5. It's only a 4.5. It's better than La Mulana though. Oh, reset our... Alright, fine, we'll go back up from the bottom. Like, all of these bottom rating ones are from the 90s or 80s. Eric the Unready was like a point-and-click adventure plus text adventure. It kind of had the worst of both worlds, I would say. That was a game I really disliked at the time and wouldn't like anymore now. Predator, like, so many of these bottom ones I played because of mystery tournaments or stuff. I guess I'll quickly note what those are for people unaware, but that's like basically speed runs where people are playing games that they've never played before, blind for the first time, against other people that are also blind. So blind races, mystery tournament sort of situation. A tournament would just be like a tournament of that. Like everyone submits games and goals that only take like half an hour or something like that, and then they're randomly paired up, and you get a reroll if you've already played the game, and yep. And Predator was what I played for it, and that was terrible. Just terrible. There's still some 2000s games in here, though. Get to see some of them. Another old D&D game I didn't like, Septerra Core Legacy the Creator. That, yeah, I remember probably my brother picked it up, like, at a discount, like, heavy discount from a Walmart or something, or Best Buy or something at some point, and I really did not like that game at all. I have not really played modern text adventures. I still have a note in a file about the modern text adventure you thought was still pretty good, that you recommended like 4 years ago or something like that. I don't actually remember the name off the top of my head, but I could find out. I want to say it maybe, I don't know, the word pig comes to mind. I don't know why, but yeah, okay, Lost Pig, there you go. Alright. It was like, the name wasn't just pig or pork. Okay. There you go. Yeah, we still even got some 2010 stuff in the bottom rankings here. Super Marissa Land, another mystery blind race piece of garbage. And that's it. We've gone through all of the DOS.